Hello and welcome back to Animated Banners with CSS. In this lesson, we're going to move on to our winter sale text and the text that's going to replace it once this animates off. And we'll start with the winter sale. Now remember, these are in two separate paragraphs. And if we go to our HTML, we can see that these paragraphs have a class of txt01 and txt02. We also have 3 and 4, but they're currently commented out and we'll uncomment those later on. For now, we want to take care of txt01 and txt02. So if we go back to our chart, txt01 and 2 are both animated on in the initial animation at the very beginning. So we need to do that first, and remember that takes 1 second. So we'll go back to our files here and get started. So we've moved everything into a new folder. All the changes that we make in this lesson will be saved in the banner 11 folder. And let's get started. Let's go to banner.css and we can find the txt01 and 02 rules here. Now right now, again, they are currently on the stage, and we don't want them to be on the stage in the beginning. We want them to animate on, and the values that we have here for the left property are the values that they need to end up at whenever the animation is finished. So if we take a look at Chrome again, I want these to come in from different directions. So I want the top text, the winter text, to come in from the right, and the sale text to come in from the left. So they're going to kind of cross paths a little bit as they move into place. So our winter text needs to be moved off to the right side of the stage, and our sale text again needs to be moved off to the left. So we'll jump back into our code and we'll make that happen. But first, I'm going to leave that initial value there so we can remember what number we need to use in just a moment. So again, our text 2 should have started up here with text 1, but our first text is going to come in from the right, and our sale text, text 2, is going to come in from the left. So text 2 needs to start with a negative left position. And this text field isn't quite as large as the one before, so we don't need to go all the way to negative 500, but I do want to be safe, so I'll go ahead and bring it to negative 200 pixels. It doesn't really need to be out that far, but I'm just playing it safe here. So it's going to animate from negative 200 to a positive 610. Text 1, which is the first one, is going to start out to the right of the stage, so we'll give it a left position of 920 pixels, and it will animate on to a value of 550. So we'll delete this and the other one later. For now, I'm just going to comment them out so that we can still have those numbers for reference. And let's jump into animations.css. So we finished up our heading animations here. Just going to get rid of some of this extra white space, and we'll nudge our headings section down a little bit, and we'll create a new section for our paragraphs. And this will help us to break it up a little bit so it'll be easier to read and navigate through this file. So we'll start our initial animation here with -webkit -keyframes. Always remember to use plural keyframes there. I sometimes forget that extra S at the end and can't figure out why it's not working. It's supposed to be keyframes plural. And then we'll give this a name of txt01 on. So this is the initial animation where it animates on. So we'll have a 0%, not 0.5, 0%, and a 100% keyframe. So for 0%, the left value, if we go back to banner.css, is going to be 920 pixels. So we'll come over here and it's going to start at 920 pixels, or it's going to start on the right side of the banner, and then it's going to animate to a position, and this is text 01, of 550 pixels. So we can get rid of that comment now, come back over here, and we'll type it in here, 550 pixels. So that will take care of the initial animation for text 1. Now let's do the same thing for text 2. Let's highlight that, copy it, skip a couple lines and paste it, and let's change this to text 02. And for the left position, we're going to start out at negative 200. And for our right position, we're going to end up at 610. Not our right position, I'm sorry, our ending position will end up at 610. So we'll save that, jump back over here, and our ending position again is going to be 610 pixels. So that should take care of our initial animations. Now let's actually make those work. We'll save that, go back to banner.css, and create those animations for text 1 and text 2. So for text 1, we'll point to -webkit-animation. We're going to point to the txt01-on animation. We want it to take 1 second, and we also need to use the forwards keyword there to make sure that it stays in place after it animates on. So then we'll do the same thing, copy that, and paste it in text02, and we'll change that to text02 on. It'll last 1 second and it will move forward. So let's save that and see if it works. We'll come back over here, refresh our page, and our text will animate on and it stays in place once it gets there. We can hit Command R to refresh that and watch it again, and there we go. That looks pretty good. Now I want to stagger the animation a little bit because right now, if we refresh, that winter sale is coming on at the exact same time the heading text is coming on. I want to delay it by just 1/4 of a second. So let's go back to our file here and put a slight delay on it. So since we're putting a delay on it, I also want to reduce the amount of time it takes. So let's set our duration to 1/2 second. So we'll set our duration for both of these to 1/2 second. And then we're going to point to the ease function here. And then after the ease function, I'm going to put a 0.25 second delay. So we'll do that again down here. 0.5 seconds for the duration. We'll use the plain ease function, and then 0.25 seconds for a delay. So while our heading text is coming on, the paragraph texts are going to wait 1/4 of a second before they start animating, and then they'll animate on over the course of 1/2 second. So let's test that, and it's just going to be slightly different. Refresh our page, and we just see that, again, the heading text comes on first, and then just 1/4 of a second later, the rest of the text starts coming on. And that gives it a little bit of a staggered effect, and I like the way that looks. So that takes care of our first 2 paragraphs, or for the initial animation for the first 2 paragraphs anyways. In the next video, we'll tackle the longer looping animation for those 2 paragraphs. So with everything saved, we'll move on. Thank you for watching.